Forget about that. Oh my goodness, nobody saw the fly ball. Doyle missed it. He never saw it. Another run scores.
Now the 2-2. Fly ball, right field, hit deep, debut, gone!
James Wood, high in the air, deep center, stretch ball, going back, Hilliard, streak,
That's a base hit in the center field. From third comes Iglesias. Hayward behind him. Padres will take a 3-0 lead. The former Rocky Elias Diaz drives in a pair.
Wow! You got him with the okey-doke. Come on! No way.
Here comes a base hit. Iglesias coming around. He will score the 20th Padres run of the game.
Yastrzemski swings, drives one, high and deep, right center, way back, it's off the top of the wall. Ramos scores, Smith around third, Hill scored to tie the game.
2 more outs to get. Estrada in the air, left center field. Pajes is over to make the catch. He throws back to first, and he is doubled off. Out of the game, and a high fly ball to deep right center field. Doyle's going back. It is long.
line to the right center, a base hit, and that'll tie up the game. Hilliard's at the score, trying for 2 now, the throw to second base by Soto, and he's out. Moniak trying to stretch us the wall, and it's out of here. Nimmo and Soto go back to back. Short hammers it. Fly ball. Watch it fly.
Hello and hey, welcome to yet another episode of Scarface 1 Does America's Pastime. The last time I did this was not that well received, but I think this one can be only slightly better received. But if I'm going to be completely honest, this is the one video I have been dreading to make. But one that I've also kind of wanted to make as well, because this one is a little personal to me. Now, occasionally I talk baseball on this channel, and I think baseball is a really, really good sport. But you want to know, there is one team in this sport that single-handedly makes me hate baseball, and that's the Colorado Rockies. This year's iteration of said Colorado Rockies is, well, it's not disappointing if I'm going to be completely honest. We all knew that this team was going to be bad, but I never in my life would have ever expected it would be this bad. But the question that I and many other people have to ask is, how bad was it? Oh boy. Oh boy. The record of 43-119 at 265 winning percentage is already bad enough. This team sported a negative 424 run differential, which is the worst by any team in the modern era and the worst since the 1899 Cleveland Spiders. 2025 just so happened to mark their third consecutive 100-loss season as well. The previous seasons they finished with 103 and 101 losses respectively. It's safe to say that this year is rock bottom. This is the lowest the organization has ever been in over 30 years of its existence. And in a city where the other major professional sports teams are doing really, really well, they're the lone outlier. They're the one team that just isn't all that good. Even the Rapids, which weren't all that good themselves, weren't historically bad, they were just mediocre at best. Now you might be wondering to yourself, okay, you've made your point. But the game isn't played with numbers. It's played on a baseball field with a bat and a ball. And you'd be correct. I'm going to need more than numbers just to prove how bad this team was. So I went to a series between the Rockies and the Toronto Blue Jays. And as you know about the Blue Jays, they made the World Series. And it went about as well as you would expect it would.
Varsho drives it, right field and deep, turning at the wall, Freeman, see you later. And now Bo Bichette rips one. Center field and deep. Going back Doyle at the wall. It is out. Blue Jays win 15-1.
Okay, but that's just game one. What about the rest of the series?
Now he drives it the other way to right field and out of here. 3-0 green light. Archer hits the next pitch and out of here again. Hit deep, right field, into the night sky and the upper deck at Coors Field.
2-run home run for Dalton Varsho. That is a 7-2. The Blue Jays have scored 7 unanswered runs after going down 2 in the game, early in the game. And this might be it for Molina.
From the Rockies, Toronto's third win in their...
Well, can they at least salvage a Game 3?
Broken bat flared his second, caught by Davis Schneider, and the Blue Jays sweep the Rockies, dominating today, 20-1, the final score at Coors Field.
Okay, this might be a little bit of an unfair comparison. After all, these are two very different teams at two very different parts of the baseball spectrum. One is really good and just so happened to make the World Series, and the other one is the worst in baseball. But even against bad teams, they struggled. Take the series against the White Sox, where they got outscored 17-11. Or what about the series in Pittsburgh, where they got shut out twice? Yes, one of those shutouts came against Paul Skeens, but that doesn't explain the 9-0 shutout that was against Braxton Ashcraft. Speaking of which, they got shut out a lot this year. And no, I'm not just saying a couple games. They got absolutely shut the hell out on multiple occasions all throughout the season. This includes an early April series where they got absolutely eviscerated by the Padres at Petco Park, where they didn't score a single run all 3 games. Speaking of the Padres, this also includes the 21-0 evisceration at home, so that was fun. And since we're talking about blowouts, we should also talk about the 18-0 loss in Baltimore. Now, you would expect the Rockies to have like a high ERA with its pitching staff, and you'd be correct. It was 5.99. But the thing that really disturbs me isn't about the pitching. It's the hitting, being ranked at or near the bottom of nearly every single offensive category. There were several parts in this season where they were absolutely struggling with strikeouts. Although admittedly there is one stat that's really funny to me. They just so happen to have the least amount of runners left on base among all 30 teams. The irony here is that they didn't have many runners on base in the first place. This begs the question, how do you fix something like this? Well, since the end of the season, they have made a few moves. Mainly the fact that they got a brand new president of baseball operations, Paul DePodesta. First problem already. He's the guy who traded for Deshaun Watson. Let that sink in for a second. Other than that, the strategy so far has been signing veteran pitching arms like Jose Quintana, Michael Lorenzen, and Tomoyuki Sugano. Arguably the biggest addition this offseason was trading for Jake McCarthy from the rival Diamondbacks. Although, as of the recording of this video, the Rockies have not signed German Marquez. Good chance he probably goes somewhere else. Wait! He signed with the Padres? Why? To tell the truth, I'm not entirely confident in these moves. I can understand the veteran influence type of mindset, but that can only go so far, especially considering the fact that this team had the worst ERA in the majors, and arguably the worst hitting in the majors as well. I'm obviously not expecting we sign a big-time free agent at the gate, considering, well, last time that happened, but I guess we'll see how these moves actually pan out in the coming season. Spring training is still ahead of us. We still need to get to that. Beyond the older guys, the newer guys coming up the ranks show a lot of promise. Guys like Charlie Condon are certainly developing, and while I don't think he gets a full-time job this year, he might get one down the line. Ethan Holiday obviously ain't ready yet, so no on him. And there's Jared Thomas, who might get the call-up this year. There is certainly promise to be had in the Rockies farm system, even if it is a tad bit bleak. Is that copium? Is that hopium? You can decide, but let me believe, man. So, where do you go from here? It's obvious to everyone, whether you're a casual or die-hard baseball fan, or hell just a sports fan, that the Rockies are in a dark place, and have been in a dark place for some time now, and will probably continue down this pathway for as long as the Montforts continue to own this franchise. I've seen this team in person far too many times that year, and every time I do, I see the passion from the Rockies fans. I see a lot of passion from the Rockies fans. They do show up. They're there to have fun, maybe see a win from their favorite team. And I can imagine if I go to some games this upcoming season, that'll continue. But at some point, we can't just keep reminiscing about 2007 every single time. This team and organization needs to evolve into the present. And while I think the new hires are certainly a start, lots more has to be done. And while yes, they didn't win much, they probably won't win much this year, I will say though, when this team did win, it sure was entertaining to watch.
Down the line. Gets off to second. He's going to score easily. Mickey Moniak has done it. And the Rockies walk up the Cubs 6-5. What a game. Guess what? This is a different version of the Rockies that the Dodgers saw a couple of months ago. It's a base hit. The man around third will score easily. The Rockies have won.